The whispers began quietly in the paddock, a few raised eyebrows in the hospitality units. Then came the glances inside the red garage. Sharp, knowing, almost defiant. And now the bombshell has landed. Ducati have made their move for 2027, and it is one that has sent shockwaves through the entire MotoGP grid. For months the narrative seemed clear. If there was one superstar poised to shake up the rider market, it was Fabio Quartararo. The former world champion carrying Yamaha on his shoulders. Yet in a twist few truly anticipated, Ducati have chosen not to chase the established champion. Instead, they have placed their long-term future in the hands of a 21-year-old phenomenon. This is not merely a contract decision. This is a declaration of intent. And as the dust settles, one name stands at the center of it all: Pedro Acosta. Ducati have finally defined their trajectory for the new regulatory era approaching in 2027. The manufacturer from Borgo Panigale has reportedly secured Pedro Acosta as its flagship long-term project. A rider widely regarded as the most electrifying young talent in the sport. Back in 2024, Ducati had genuine interest in prizing Fabio Quartararo away from Yamaha MotoGP, particularly as his contract entered its final phase. That period coincided with Ducati's own internal power struggle, deciding who would partner Francesco Bagnaia in the factory team, Marc Marquez or Jorge Martin. However, Quartararo made it clear he had little appetite for a satellite seat. Loyalty, and perhaps belief in Yamaha's rebuilding process, kept him with Yamaha MotoGP. He extended his deal, closing what, in hindsight, appears to have been his only realistic window to join the dominant red machine. Even after an impressive 2025 campaign aboard the underpowered YZRM1, the call from Borgo Panigale never arrived, and according to respected journalist Oriol Puigdemont, that was no accident. "I was not surprised," Puigdemont revealed. "From what I understood last year, Ducati were never 100% convinced about Quartararo. Instead, Ducati became, in Puigdemont's words, absolutely obsessed with Pedro Acosta. The 21-year-old Spaniard is viewed internally as a generational cornerstone. Not just fast, not just marketable, but transformative. Sources suggest Ducati even finalized terms with Acosta before concluding negotiations with Marc Marquez, a remarkable signal of where their priorities truly lay. It is also believed that Acosta was willing to accept reduced financial terms for the opportunity. Those who follow his career closely will not be surprised. He has previously stated that money does not drive him. The red bike does. The comparison with Marc Marquez's bold 2024 decision is unavoidable. When Marquez walked away from Honda and accepted lower pay to race for Gresini, it was about competitiveness over comfort. Acosta appears to be following a similar blueprint, positioning himself on the most dominant machinery in the championship. From Ducati's perspective, this is strategic brilliance. By locking in Acosta early, they secure what many believe will be the grid's next reference rider for the post-2027 regulations cycle. Crucially, they also prevent rivals such as Honda from building their future around him. And that is where the wider domino effect begins. If Quartararo is indeed heading towards Honda, it reshapes another major factory project. Meanwhile, Ducati must now carefully manage its satellite structure. Bagnaia has no interest in leaving the factory squad. Alex Marquez has made it clear he only wants full factory status. Franco Morbidelli's position appears increasingly vulnerable. The paddock tension is real because Ducati may now possess not one, but potentially two number one caliber riders heading into 2027. Balancing that internal hierarchy will be delicate. History has shown that when two alpha competitors share a garage, fireworks are never far away. Strategically, Ducati's decision signals a shift away from short-term star acquisition towards generational investment. Rather than chasing an established champion like Quartararo, they have gambled on shaping the next one in their own image. For Costa delivers, and few doubt his raw capability. This could define the next era of MotoGP. But if the gamble misfires, the question will linger. Did Ducati let a proven champion slip away? One thing is certain. The 2027 rider market has ignited early, and the Red Garage just turned up the temperature. What makes this development even more compelling is the timing. With the 2027 regulation changes set to redefine aerodynamics, engine specifications and electronics philosophy, Ducati are not merely signing a rider. They are selecting the figurehead of a new technical era. In that sense, Pedro Acosta is not just an addition to the lineup, but a cornerstone around which the next Desmosedici will be shaped. Inside Borgo Panigale, the belief is clear. Youth adapts faster. As MotoGP moves into a phase where innovation will once again separate the brave from the conservative, Ducati appear convinced that Acosta's aggressive, instinctive riding style can evolve alongside a changing machine. Rather than moulding a veteran to new rules, they are betting on moulding the rules era around a young predator. There is also a commercial dimension that cannot be ignored. Acosta represents the next Spanish superstar. Charismatic, fearless, and already capable of commanding headlines. Ducati understand the value of global markets, particularly in Spain and Latin America. Securing him is as much a strategic branding victory as it is a sporting one. Meanwhile, the psychological impact across the paddock is significant. Rival manufacturers now know that one of the brightest prospects on the grid is effectively off the market. That alters negotiation dynamics immediately. It strengthens Ducati's leverage and weakens the rebuilding narratives elsewhere. For Quartararo, the situation becomes a defining crossroads. If his anticipated move to Honda materializes, he will carry enormous expectation on his shoulders, not only to revive a struggling giant, but to prove Ducati miscalculated. Champions are fueled by perceived rejection. And this may well ignite a new edge in his racing. Internally, Ducati must now prepare for a delicate transition phase. Integrating a rider of Acosta's ambition requires clarity in hierarchy, engineering focus, and political balance. History in MotoGP has repeatedly shown that talent alone does not guarantee harmony. Managing ambition is often harder than unlocking speed. There is also the question of development direction. Will Ducati subtly begin tailoring future prototypes to Acosta's preferences even before 2027 officially arrives? Early alignment between rider feedback and engineering philosophy could be the invisible advantage that defines championships in the next cycle.